What if I told you that many of the medical advancements today is because of one black woman by the name of Henrietta Lacks? Let's talk about it. In 1951, a 30-year-old woman named Henrietta Lacks went to the doctor after being in pain and noticing a lump on her cervix. Her doctor referred her to a gynecologist at Johns Hopkins Hospital. Now, this was one of the only major hospitals in her area that would treat black patients. The doctor ended up finding a large tumor on her cervix, and she was diagnosed with cervical cancer. Now, without her knowledge, the doctor took samples of her cells for research, and he gave those samples to Dr. George Gay, who noticed something very unique and spectacular about her cells. Most human cells will quickly die after being removed from the body, but Henrietta Lacks, her cells were like nobody else's. Her cells continued to grow at a rapid rate that continued to multiply days after being removed from her body. This was something that had never been seen before, and scientists could perform all types of experiments on these cells. Meanwhile, Henrietta Lacks had no clue, and she was also still dealing with treatment for her cancer, which consisted of a lot of painful radiation. Now, although Henrietta Lacks was going through painful treatment, she still maintained her household. She was a wife, and she was also a mother of 5. She was a strong disciplinarian, but she also was a very loving person. Everybody loved her vibrant personality. She was big on fashion, and she also loved to dance. Nevertheless, at the time, she was still going through painful treatment. The radiation treatment that she started doing weekly eventually started burning her stomach. It got so bad to the point where her stomach started to turn black. Months later, she tells the doctor that she believes her cancer is spreading. They tell her that she's fine. Sometime later, she returned to the doctor and complained of discomfort and pain, but once again, they told her that she was fine. Eventually, she was in so much pain that she could barely walk or even urinate. Now, this can lead to a greater conversation about how historically and even in modern times, many black women's symptoms are not taken seriously by their medical professionals. They're oftentimes assumed to be exaggerating or assumed to have a higher pain tolerance, and this can be very, very dangerous. Now, while this was going on, Dr. Gay was going around telling everybody about the good news of these cells that was going to change the trajectory of medicine and technology. He also began sending these cells out to a variety of scientists. He called them healer cells, but he didn't never say who these cells came from. Meanwhile, Henrietta Lacks' pain had gotten so bad that neighbors could hear her cries from blocks away. She goes back to the doctor and insists on staying there. And eventually it got so bad to the point where the cancer had spread throughout her whole entire body. Not too long after, in October of 1951, Henrietta Lacks died at the age of 31 years old. To add insult to injury, not long after her death, Dr. Gay requested an autopsy to retrieve more of her cells to do more research. Henrietta Lacks' story is one of medical exploitation. Her unique cells made things like the polio vaccine possible. It even made things like the COVID-19 vaccine possible. Her cells is a big reason why scientists know today that humans have 46 chromosomes. Her cells were even sent to space and made much, much more technological advances than I even have time to name. Nevertheless, the woman behind those cells is rarely talked about. This is why Black history is important. And if anybody ever told you any different, they lied to you.